What would you do if you could relive your life? Would you go back just to relive a simpler time? Or would you start over and become a new person? The older you get, the more often these thoughts come to mind. If only I would have said that back then. If I would have done that, then I wouldn't be in this situation. Why couldn't I have just asked that waitress for her phone number? Obviously, we all make decisions in each of our own lives. Some go the way we want, while others not so much. But hey, that's all a part of life. I was recently reminded of that fact when I watched ReLIFE. Now, it is a bit cliche to say that you can get inspiration from anime, but you never know what might strike a chord with you, and ReLIFE did just that for me. And holy shit, is it inspirational. This series fits so many inspirational life lessons in it. ReLIFE is a manga and anime series that follows Arata Kaizaki, who has been given a chance to get his life back on track by returning to high school. Doing this will give him experiences that will hopefully help him fix whatever went wrong with his life. Honestly, I know it does sound a bit sus, but it sets up a unique premise of having someone who has a decent amount of life experience that can help others that don't. As Arata helps the people around him, he, and I as I watched, was able to remember some simple life lessons that really can only be learned in situations with groups of people involved. Each arc in the story has incredibly realistic conflicts that you, or someone you may know, have gone through, or at the very least is similar to an experience that you have had or will have. All of these struggles have their own messages that I think would be great for anyone to hear. So listen up, because here are some of my favorite lessons from ReLIFE. But before that, really quick, I realized after writing this that I didn't really talk about the series in general or what I liked about it, so I wanted to slip this in real quick. The unique concept of the story is what brought me in, but the main thing that kept me going was the cast. I did mention that their issues are very real, but that extends to their character as well. Each member of the cast is written in a completely believable way. It's easy to find things that you can relate to yourself or with someone you may know. I also really loved the internal conflict with Arata, slowly realizing that 1 year is a very short amount of time, but so much can happen in that short time. At the end of the ReLIFE experiment, everyone who he came into contact with will lose their memories of him while he keeps them. He puts the pieces together and is broken up about the thought of losing his newfound friends. That realization comes with some really powerful emotions, and the ending even made me tear up a bit too. Lastly, before moving on, I wanted to mention that I first watched the anime, but then immediately after finishing, I read the manga as well. Both have their ups and downs. The anime is a bit low budget and doesn't adapt everything in the manga, but it does the emotional scenes far better than the manga in my opinion. I think that if you really enjoy this series, both mediums are definitely worth your time. Now let's get on to the life lessons that I like from ReLIFE.
If I can't relate to someone, am I not allowed to be worried about them either? If I haven't had the same experiences, does that mean I don't get to care about you?
A common theme in ReLIFE is the idea of letting others into your life. Most of the conflicts that happen in the series are a result of a lack of communication. The problem grows and eventually blows up in everyone's faces, but it could have been avoided if they were willing to talk to each other a bit about their issues and problems. One of the characters in the story, Reina, is the prime suspect of never letting anyone in and doing everything on her own. A number of the conflicts actually revolve around her, and it isn't until after she learns how to let others in that she is able to stop being the problem. Her attitude of getting through everything by herself isn't necessarily bad, because honestly she probably could solve most of her problems herself. She probably had always done it that way her whole life, but that still doesn't mean that she should reject help when it's offered. The people around her want to help her because they care so much about her, and it's hard to see someone that you care about going through a rough patch in life. Even if they don't completely understand the situation, it's always helpful to know that someone cares and is willing to comfort you when needed. Being around people that care can make a huge difference. Showing the people that we care about that we will always be there for them can be very impactful. Helping others can also help ourselves be happier and become better people. And this of course extends to people we don't even know. We are all trying to make our way through life, so don't make it harder for others. To put it simply, don't be a dick.
I'm glad I got to talk to them. Just hearing I inspired them, it doesn't erase the guilt I feel for not saving Michiru, or for taking a stand she didn't want. But it does help, and I guess that's a start.
Because Arata is actually 27 years old, throughout the series, he's able to remember his own past experiences and regrets. It's pretty commonplace in real life to see characters reflect on their lives and learn from those past mistakes. Failing in the past doesn't necessarily mean that you can't succeed in the future. It's easier to remember our past mistakes rather than the things that we did right. Making mistakes is just a part of life. Make mistakes, learn from them, and change. The characters in real life continually struggle with their memories of their past mistakes. They bottle them up, and when they're reminded of them, they run away. Everyone lives life their own way, but suppressing painful memories can only be harmful to our mental health. Confronting our past will help us in the future. Everything that happens to us shapes who we are. Without doing anything, we can't have those experiences, both good and bad, that will help us become who we want to be. When I was a senior in high school, I had someone who was a year younger than me ask if they should just drop out because high school is getting too hard for them. I told them, don't do that. High school is one of the easiest things you will ever do in your life, and so if you drop out now, you'll just be regretting it your whole life. I didn't mean that if you quit, you couldn't succeed in life. Many people have done just that. I meant that if you quit, you'd be losing out on so many life experiences. Not giving up is seriously hard for anyone. High school wasn't always easy, but neither is life. Learning to never give up early in life sets you on a path to keep moving forward when life gets tough.
And not only do they beat me, they win so easily that they don't even think of me as competition! Hoonigan in sports! Chizuru in class! I work so hard trying to beat them! And they don't even notice or care! Why am I the only one with problems?
Early on in real life, Reina is feeling down. She thinks that she has it so tough and that everyone around her is always happy and perfect. She then decides that she should make someone else understand what it's like to suffer like herself. Arata stops her and they have a nice heart-to-heart about how putting someone else down won't make her happy. It'll just make her frustrated. She later learns that the person she was going to wrong also has their own struggles they are dealing with. She learned that just because others seem to have it together on the surface, it doesn't mean that they are having a better life than you. You can't always place the blame on others for your own problems because, more often than not, you are the reason for your own struggles. The person that Reina had targeted was Chizuru. Chizuru has a hard time communicating with others and as a result is often misunderstood. She has no one close that she can rely on and honestly her life sucks. As the story progresses, she begins to learn along with the rest of the cast about what it really means to live life. When she is able to help others, she learns even more about herself and is able to apply her own advice to her life. The whole cast becomes a close group as they learn how to communicate better and understand each other as individuals. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Being around others, we can get help to overcome our weaknesses and in turn help them with our strengths. That's what life is all about.
Tell me that you'll make the most of every moment.
Yes, I'll try to.
Our decisions, mistakes, and successes make us into who we are. Regardless of all of our mistakes, they happened, and we can't take them back. Accept who you are and become stronger for it. Don't be pessimistic about your past mistakes, be optimistic about the future by learning from your previous failures. Just like in real life, everyone in the story learned from each other. During Arata's real life, his observer Rio even says that he was able to learn a lot from watching everything unfold, just like us the viewers. Thanks to real life, I was able to remember some important life lessons that I had forgotten. While we don't have the ability to go back and relive our lives, we can always take what we've learned and look toward the future.